welcome to Rise and Lead. My name is Desiree Foster Collins, and I'm so excited to have you here. I am the president of Excellence by Design, as well as a certified independent speaker, coach, and trainer with the John Maxwell team. My heart and soul is helping small businesses and entrepreneurs to increase their greatest asset, which is themselves, their people, and also to help them build their business through video marketing on social media. So tonight for our series, our monthly series, we are talking about new beginnings. And tonight I have a very, very special guest. Her name is Dr. Anita Polite-Wilson. Hi, Anita.
Hi, Desiree.
I'm so glad that you can be here, and thank you for being patient while we were working out all of the technical hiccups, right?
I'm just glad to know I'm not the only one, because if a pro like you has hiccups, I'm feeling all right.
Oh, honey, we are all in this together, trust me.
Yes, we are.
So I'm so really glad that you are here. And what I'm going to be doing is just asking you just a lot of different questions. Like I said, our theme for tonight is new beginnings. Mm-hmm. And I learned a long time ago that as women, we're better together. Mm-hmm. We're stronger together. I don't know if you had a chance to see the movie Hidden Figures.
Oh, yes. I saw it Friday, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. And what was your favorite part?
You know, my favorite part was the camaraderie between the women, how they had each other's backs, how they could talk smack, but they did it in love and respect. They kept it real. And when I think about my best girlfriends, you, Linda, Dr. Sally, we keep it real, but there's never any question that we love each other and that we have each other's back.
I love that. I love that. I think my favorite part was when, I don't remember her name, but it was when she was getting the supervisor. They'd finally given her supervisor up or promotion.
Yes. And Octavia Spencer, right.
Yes, Octavia Spencer. And when she said, well, I'm not doing it unless I bring my girls.
Right? Exactly. Yes. And that's how we need to be.
And how often does that happen in the corporate arena?
Not much.
Not much.
If ever. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I think about what we're trying to do here with Rise and Lead, with Excellence by Design, I learned a long time ago that we're all one-winged angels and we need to lock arms and we can fly together. Mm-hmm. So that is what we're doing tonight. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Anita.
Well, I find it very interesting that, your first segment is new beginnings. And earlier this year, I sent a post on my webpage, Dr. Anita, Life Coach. And I said, so goodbye 2016, hello 2017. What are you going to do differently? And I specifically said, I'm not talking about resolutions because those are broken within the first 30 or 90 days. And even if you've made one and you've done something, that's still progress. But I'm not talking about a resolution. I'm talking about what you're going to do differently. What is your intention? What are you going to follow through with? And so that's what I help people do as a coach. I help people figure out their intentions and follow through with it. And if your intention doesn't come from the right place, it's not going to happen. So first of all, we need to be honest with ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's you as a coach. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about yourself personally.
I have a wonderful husband. In August, we celebrated 25 years of marriage. He is the light of my life. We were not blessed to have children, but we keep each other in stitches and we bring out the kid in each other. So he's fantastic. I have a wonderful brother. He's Pastor John. And my mom, she's Pastor Mary, and my dad. And today, just this afternoon, we celebrated her retirement of 20 years in the ministry. And it was so touching. The love that people had for my mother is just amazing. So
wow.
I'm part of a royal priesthood. And even though I'm not officially in ministry, I see what I do as an opportunity to minister to people because people are hurting. People need affirmation. They need support. And as a coach and as a friend, that's what I give. And I believe that's my gift to the world.
Beautiful. I love that. So ministry. Wow.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by it.
I am. And ministry is a loaded word. It does not necessarily mean that you have to be behind the pulpit preaching.
Thank you.
Ministry is just being there for each other. The one-winged angels, and we're flying together.
That's right.
Ministry. Yeah. To me.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love that. So why did you get into coaching or professionally? Do you do that professionally?
I do that
Okay.
professionally and I love it. But as I look back at my career, I've always been a coach. I just didn't officially know that's what I was doing because I love to help people. And when I look back at my life, that's what I do. As a professional, I'm a coach. I teach spin cycling on a bike and I'm a coach. I have my own workshops that I run and I'm a coach.
Mhm.
I'm a friend and I'm a coach
Mhm.
because I see such potential in people that they don't see in themselves. And that's really what a coach does. A coach, a good coach, doesn't tell you what to do. They ask you questions to help you figure it out for yourself.
Mhm. Mhm. Very, very good. So, if you were to look back over your life
Mhm.
and in your journey to becoming your profession, okay, let's just talk about the profession for right now. What hurdles did you face internally, and how did you overcome them to become the professional that you are?
That is a really good question. And I have to say, the things that I faced internally were getting ahead of myself. And I say that because oftentimes I think that the level of professionalism and expertise that I have now, I could have played the role back then
Mhm.
just because I had the misunderstanding that it was all about professionalism. And while professionalism is part of that, it's your education, it's your experiences, it's your perspective, it's your outlook, it's your background, all of these things that make up who you are. And let's just be honest, there are some things we're just not ready for because we haven't lived long enough.
Mhm.
But now that I've lived a little bit longer, I have a little bit more grace and patience with others and with myself. And I think that's really what makes the difference. That's what makes me more effective now, even though 20 years ago I thought I could be effective at this level. It just would not have been possible because I had not lived enough to experience enough to be able to love enough. And truly, coaching takes love.
Oh, I like that. So, what I'm hearing you say is that as time went on,
Mhm.
you gained more wisdom to be more patient with yourself.
And with others, absolutely. But yeah, we have to be patient with ourselves first. What I'm finding is that the things that we expect for others, we need to expect those things for ourselves. As a coach, I tell people all the time, it's okay. You're all right. You can make mistakes. You're human. I need to give myself that kind of grace.
Absolutely, that kindness.
Yes.
So often, especially as I know you, and I know that you are definitely a go-getter. I know you've got a gazillion degrees, and I mean that took a lot of gumption, that took a lot of effort, that took a lot of heart, sweat, tears,
Hmm.
all of that, lots of money. I know,
Hmm.
right?
Right, right.
In all of that,
Hmm.
if you could put all that aside, who is Anita?
Wow. Okay, so now I know how it feels to be on the other end of my questions. uh, Anita is someone who believes from her heart and soul that everyone is gifted because that's the way we were created. And unless we know who we are, sometimes people have a hard time getting on in this world. And I have noticed in my career that when people don't understand their greatness, they're intimidated by other people's greatness.
Mm,
And so I help people realize I'm great, but Desiree's great. And because I can recognize what makes me great, I can love and value and appreciate what makes Desiree great.
mhm.
If people would just take the time to understand and believe their own greatness, how far could we get in this world?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the things that I found is that in honing in on the things that I'm really strong at
Hmm.
and just saying, you know what, for all that stuff that I'm constantly trying to work on to fix,
Right.
they're not going to get fixed. If I work, let me just work on what's strong within me and be the
Yes.
best me that I am. Then
Yes.
that way I can help Sally and Jane and all my other girls become
Yes.
their very, very best in what they're strong at.
Yes. Yes. See, now you're getting me excited because now I'm really excited because I am the strengths-based coach at my job. I have been into strengths since 2002 when I discovered what my strengths were. And there is a book, Strengths Finder 2.0. If I had one wish for everyone, I would say, please take this assessment. Because when you find out what your strengths are, yes, let all that other stuff go. Now, let me clarify. When we're talking about interpersonal skills, everyone needs to know how to do that. And it starts first with yourself and then being more effective in your relationships with others. You're a very, very valid point. We need to focus on our own strengths and make those better. And where we're weak, we partner. For instance, I am not a technical guru. Thank God for Desiree Foster Collins. You are my success partner when it comes to everything technical, right? And so I don't have to figure that out. I don't have to beat myself up because I'm not good at it. I can just say, Desiree, I need you to partner with me on this, and it's done. And if people understood and embraced their own strengths, and as you have so rightly pointed out, develop your strengths over time. And again, unless it's interpersonal relationships, let that other stuff go. You're going to be happier, you're going to be more successful, and you're going to reach your goals faster. So thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this question. As you were coming into finding Anita and becoming the best Anita that you could be, how did you deal with the people that thought they knew who Anita was and had a plan for Anita to grow into as you were developing who you truly were?
Another fabulous question. So just a couple of years ago, I transitioned from one department where everyone knew my strengths, appreciated me, valued me, gave me love, gave me promotions, gave me bonuses, to an organization that I wanted to go to because I thought the leader was very similar to the one I had. And even though he didn't know me, I thought that he was willing to know me. That wasn't the case. He wasn't quite sure what he needed in the role that I was filling. And we had a tough time of it. We really did. I mean, you talk about trials and tribulations and crying and boo-hooing and, Lord, why me? And all these good things. And then in my last review, although I wasn't happy with it, we both decided that I needed to off-ramp out of that and into something else that he offered me. He said, I want you to be the strengths-based coach. And so to your question, how did I come to Anita, even though other people had something else in mind for me? Because I knew what I needed. I knew who I was. I knew what I brought to the table. Mm-hmm. And I had a wonderful, wonderful mentor in the president and CEO of the company where I am. And I was telling her about the situation. She said, create demand for yourself. So that's what I did. That's what I did. I went out and I did pilots based on strengths and the philosophy and what I knew to be true and what I had worked and what I had done and what I had proven years ago. And I worked with some managers. I wrote up my findings. I shared that documentation with my manager. And even though at the time he didn't appreciate it, because I knew who I was and I knew what I could deliver, over time, he said, all right, let's make you the coach. You write your job description. You put in there what you want to do and what you're going to be and how you're going to run your shop. And that's what I've done. And since then, Desiree, I get phone calls to come and help. I get emails about how I've changed people's lives. I was working with one young lady who had a position. She wasn't very happy. She wasn't satisfied. She took her strengths. We discovered what those were. She applied for another job, and within a month, she got it. And she's not the only success story that I can share with you that's like that. When people figure out their strengths, they have a whole new trajectory in their life, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And it's an honor for me to be a part of.
That's beautiful. How would you describe your ideal life?
Ooh, I have an answer for that one. So my ideal life would have a lot more opportunities like I just had this past August. This past August, I did a public workshop for the MGM Foundation's 10th Annual Women's Leadership Conference. It was material that I put together. And at first, when I was contracted, I was told, well, you'll have 125 people one day and 125 people the next day. So I sent my 250 materials. And 2 days before I showed up, I was told, oh, we've expanded your capacity. I said, okay, to what? They said, well, instead of 125 the first day, you're going to have 300. Okay, so that's my 250 that I just sent, plus 50 more that I don't have. And then they said, for the second day, we're going to expand your capacity to about 500. Okay. So the first day, I used all the materials that I had and did a great job. And the second day, I had no materials, but it was still effective because it came from the heart. And from the minute they picked me up until the minute they took me back to the airport in a gold limousine, I might add, which was just fabulous.
Oh, hello.
Yay. That is the life I said that I wanted to lead.
Okay.
Because to walk through the conference and to hear people say, hey, Dr. Anita, I really enjoyed you. I'll be back tomorrow. Or, oh, Dr. Anita, I'm so disappointed because we couldn't get in. It was amazing. It was like nothing I've ever experienced. You talk about the red carpet everywhere you go. And it's not so much the bling, it's to be valued and appreciated for the strengths that I bring to the table. That would be my ideal life, to do that on a regular basis. And until that happens, I'm thrilled and honored to be the strengths-based coach where I work.
So for the Women's Leadership Conference, I had the opportunity to work with you on that.
You did.
And work on, on the technical pieces of that and do
Yes. Yes.
and the video marketing behind that.
Yes.
How do you feel being behind the camera, or in front of the camera, I should say?
It's a new experience for me.
Okay.
But I'm excited about it. I was working on another project this summer where I was a little more in front of the camera, and I'm hoping that that turns into something else that perhaps your viewers will hear about in a year or so. But I like it. I'm not uncomfortable with it. I facilitate conversations for a living.
Okay.
So to be in front is not new, but to be in front of a camera, that's something different. But I think you're going to help me get used to that, right?
You don't have a choice, honey.
That's what I want to hear.
You don't have a choice. It inspires me to see, as I've watched you try to build your brand, build the Dr. Anita brand. And as you have been just developing more and more what that piece of you looks like. Because it's still bringing a part of you into, the entire equation, but it's setting you up as that business. When you're walking through a hotel, hey, that's Dr. Anita.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I saw her on Facebook.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I went to her website. Very professional, very, amiable, very kind. She smiles, all of those things. And understanding that the reach that you have behind a video can reach the world.
So I have to say that I appreciate the fact that you and I met, gosh, it's almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
Almost. It seems like we have been tight forever, but you came to a conference that I was participating in as a speaker. A girlfriend of yours suggested that you come. You and I met and hit it off. And Desiree, I will never forget what you said towards the end when the host was getting feedback from the women. You said, I didn't know what to expect when I got here, but now that I'm here, it was worth every mile. And you came quite a distance. I will never forget that. We became fast friends. I've been there for you. You've been there for me. And at this point, I can't imagine going forward without you. You've been a blessing to me on my website with my video. That video that we did for the MGM, that video was off the chain. I mean, professional with a capital PRO. Beautiful job. And I couldn't, and I've been praying about this for a long time. And as you know, as you said, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I've been praying for a long time for a success partner exactly like you. And so thank you for partnering with me to help me live my best life and to help me get where I'm trying to go.
That is so incredible. Thank you so much for that, Anita.
Absolutely.
Because, you know what? It is helping people understand like the creative space of video and what it can do. And, working through that entire process, especially when you don't care for technology.
Hi. I don't care for technology.
Facebook is a nuisance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think as I think about it, because I hear you, it's important. It's critical to building your brand. I think the challenge that I have was I just really want to be accessible to people. I want to touch people. This evening, I really wanted us to do this in person because that would have been my preference. But as my schedule worked out, I had to come home and go ahead and do it online. But that's my preference, is to be with people. To your point, though, I get it. How am I going to be with people if they don't know that I exist?
Exactly.
So I do understand. And let me say this. Thank you for your patience. Not only are you professional, but you're so patient. You're so kind. You never make me feel inferior because I don't know this stuff. And you don't make me feel bad because I don't care to know this stuff. Although you have kicked me in the butt verbally and said, this is part of the process, my friend. I need you to get with it. So thank you.
You painted me out to be just so kind. It was more like, okay, going to do this.
Right.
We're going to get it done.
Right.
Don't worry. It's going to come out fine.
Yes.
Turn the
Yes.
computer off. It's okay. Let me handle what I need to.
But that speaks to your gifting, sweetheart. And I love you to pieces.
Well, it's fun. And it's great being able to work with people who say, okay, you know what? This is not what I'm good at, but here's my idea. Run with it.
Yeah. And I trust you.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
One word for 2017. What's your word?
It's going to have to be intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because even though I'm quite goal oriented and I get things done, and I believe in calculated risks, meaning if there's an 80% chance that I'm going to succeed, I will go for it. But I want to be very, very intentional, and not just about my goals and my path forward, because let's be honest, we can make plans all day long, but if God has something different for us, that's the way it's going to go down. But being intentional about everything, like if I'm with friends, I don't wear a watch anymore because I'm with you. I'm not the type to, look at my cell phone all day long. I happen to have it today because my husband is supposed to be calling. He's out of town. But for the most part, I keep my cell phone put away because I don't want to be distracted. So I'm going to be very, very intentional. And that includes rest. We, especially as high achieving women, seem to feel like rest is not productive, but it is. We need to rest. We need to rejuvenate. We need to reflect. And without those three things, rest, rejuvenation, and reflection, we're not good for ourselves. And if we're not good for ourselves, we're not good for anyone else. And we need to remember that even in a plane when we're traveling, what do they always say? In the unlikely event of an emergency, if the mask drops, what are you supposed to do?
You put your oxygen on first.
You Absolutely. Put your oxygen on first and help others. Ladies, you need to rest, rejuvenate, and reflect for yourself so that you can be there for others.
Absolutely. There are so many... There's so many coaches that are out there and, these, public figures that are saying, okay, you need to grind. And you don't stop grinding until, you can sleep when you're dead. How that is such the greatest fallacy. And I realized that I believed that for a long time.
So did I.
And so I would never allow my mind to shut off.
Right.
It was always the next idea, the next thing that I can do. And while my life is still busy, it's still very, very busy, with my kids, with my sons, education, career, my daughter, her schooling, just all the different things, work and, building a business, all of those things. You have to take time for self-care.
You have to. Otherwise, none of it is going to happen.
Absolutely. And then on the professional side, you have to take time for self-leadership and self-development.
Amen.
You have to, because and I know you know this, but for everyone else, for everyone that's watching this, watching this video, our ability to lead and the potential that we have is only as high as our leadership lid. So if your leadership lid is a 2, your potential is only going to go up to a 1, because you can never go any further than where you have expanded your leadership knowledge and experience and development to be.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I make it a point to coach people on, especially leaders, is that you need to lead yourself first well before you can lead anyone else. And that means the expectations that you set for others, you need to set for yourself. Now, that being said, my 100%, right? Maybe somebody else's 80%. And if that's all they can do, I need to accept that.
Absolutely.
But again, we need to lead by example, which means not going off when somebody takes you there, which means knowing what your triggers are so that people don't take you there.
Hallelujah.
Right? Yeah, hello.
Hallelujah.
Having some grace. We must learn to lead ourselves first before we can expect to lead anybody else. And oh, by the way, leadership by example means that people are watching you. So even if you're not in a formal leadership capacity, you're leading somewhere, you're leading someone somewhere sometime.
Leadership is not title or position.
Correct. Not at all.
Not title, it's not position, It's not the amount of money that you have. It's not any of those things. Leadership is influence.
That's right.
It is influence. And whether we are mothers, whether we are millennials, whether we are, managers, or if we're mentors, what I call our more seasoned women who live life and have gathered that wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what capacity you're in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're influencing another person, you are leading them.
That's right.
And if you cannot lead yourself, you have no right.
Mm-hmm.
You have absolutely no right to impose your will on what you haven't learned onto somebody else.
Well said.
So, okay, so let's see here. I'm going to ask you a fun question. I had some fun ones here, so get ready.
Okay, is it going to be fun for you because you get to see me squirm, or is it going to be fun for me to answer?
It'll be both.
Okay.
It'll be both.
All right.
Okay. So what's your favorite 90s jam?
I don't know because I was in school.
You were in school. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite love song that your husband's dedicated to you?
Here and Now by Luther Vandross.
Aww.
Luther's my man. Yeah.
And why is that special to you?
Because Luther could sing, girl. That's why. And that's got nothing to do with my husband. I love my husband. He is, I say this often. My husband is the wind beneath my wings when I soar, and he's the arms into which I fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Say that again for the women that are waiting for their Prince Charming.
My husband is the wind beneath my wings when I soar, and he is the arms into which I fall.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's my baby.
So the last question that I have for you is this. Mm-hmm. If you could say anything to the 19-year-old Anita today about where she would be tomorrow, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, don't underestimate yourself, but don't get ahead of yourself. There's still a lot that you need to know, a lot that you need to learn, a lot that you need to experience, and a lot of love that you need to share.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Anita, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Rise and lead. You are a woman who's risen, and you're leading, and you're changing the world for hundreds and thousands of other women out there. And I believe in you. I expect even greater from you. And thank you.
Thank you, Desiree. It has been an honor to be your first guest. Thank you for thinking of me. I love you, and whatever you need, I've got your back.